I just had a hat on, so I have a red line across my forehead. Enjoy watching that slowly disappear throughout the course of this video. A couple of weeks ago, I showed you guys a case for the Pixel 9 Pro Fold by a company called Thinborne. It is an Aramid fiber case. As you can see here, it is on my Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I actually showed you this case before the device had even been announced. I was going to say released, but announced is actually the correct word. In this video, I do need to give you a quick update on this case because there is a defect, a problem with it. Thinborne is aware of it and they are going to fix it. Let's take a look at their tweet. The position of the wireless charging coil on our Pixel 9 Pro Fold case may not align properly for Magsafe charging. It does not align correctly. On this device, you would think that the charging coil is in the middle where it normally is. It's actually much lower. Because of this, certain chargers like the Pixel stand don't actually work correctly. When the device is sitting here, it's not charging. If you lift it up slightly, maybe you stick something underneath it so you give it like a riser, it will work. Again, the coil is lower. Thinborne did not know this when they were making their case. I actually have heard from some other case makers that the same pitfall hit them as well. They had the same issue where they had made some cases and they don't work, so they've had to recall them and they're going to replace them. They identified the issue on September the 1st. They began working on a solution. They now have 200 revised cases ready for September the 7th. And there is a web page, which I will link in the description down below. You can go here and it's going to explain the situation and how they're fixing it. And what's going to happen is you basically fill out a form. And what's going to happen here is you fill out a form and they're going to send you, if you've already purchased the old one, you've got it like I do and it's not working, they're going to send you the fixed case. So with that out of the way, I do want to quickly show you this case on the device so you can get a look at that. We'll look at the store page first so you can kind of get a general idea. It's an Aramid fiber case. It is a 600D Aramid fiber case, which means it is fairly high. It's actually very high quality Aramid fiber. Pay attention to this when you're shopping for other Aramid fiber cases. If this number is bigger, if it's like 1500D, it's actually a lower quality Aramid fiber, so that does make a difference. It is, I don't know why that happens on this website, it is $89.98. If you do want to purchase it, use my coupon code down below, my link and my coupon code, and you will save 15% and it will help support the channel. I'm assuming that these 3 negative reviews are almost certainly they are the Magsafe issue and that is being fixed. So, okay, that's out of the way. Let's look at the case. So this is the case itself, and I've had this on for most of the time since I actually unboxed this device just to kind of help keep it safe. As you can see here, we're just going to kind of go through this. You can see that around the camera bump, this enormous, slightly unattractive camera bump, that it is sort of wrapping around it, and it actually is a bit taller than the camera bump, and that is good because that should provide some, some layer of protection whenever it's actually sitting down on a table. The actual lens itself should be elevated off of the table. You can see how nice and tight that Aramid fiber weave actually is. Like any Aramid fiber case, it will sort of pick up a little bit of like oil from your hand or, just handling the thing. You will get little oily fingerprints and things like that. That's just kind of par for the course with any sort of Aramid fiber case. I do have the front bit actually installed. A lot of the time, these cases, like Pitaka, sometimes won't even send the front piece, or if they do, they have a hard time staying in place. This one so far has been pretty decent for me. You can see how the fitment looks of that front piece. Over here on the side, the area that's cut out for the power button and the fingerprint scanner as well as the volume rocker. No real issues getting to that power button to unlock the device. Nothing really obstructing that too badly. If we look at the top, you can see that the speaker grill seems to be relatively well cut out, but this top piece for me does seem to be ever so slightly kind of hard to get aligned properly. You can see how it's not quite as far over as the bottom piece is. I'm wondering if that's because of the adhesive that is on this side. Maybe it's pushing it out a little bit cutting off that one speaker hole, but that's not really going to cause a significant problem. I can push it over, but it will go back, so that is what it is. These cutouts look totally fine, though. On the bottom side, it's a similar affair where this side, the cutouts look pretty good, whereas the top side, the cutout is off just a little bit. Again, I can push it over, but it doesn't really want to stay there. Now, I have seen two people on Reddit, if I'm not mistaken, showing that their two halves of the case, this half and this half, they're kind of butting up against each other, and the result is there's a little bit of daylight between the two halves of the fold. As you can see, that is not a problem that I am having with mine. Mine is actually fitting just fine. Overall, I really don't have any significant problems with this case. The only thing that I really ever would use the Magsafe ring for is something like an accessory like this grip, and it's going to work great for that. I mean, it's a very, very strong magnet, so I'm kind of like whatever about this. I don't use a Magsafe charger, so this again doesn't really bother me all that much. But if you did intend on using a Magsafe charger, it does need to be dropped down to somewhere in that region, and that's going to be addressed for you. I have asked about the sort of fitment issues that we've seen on Reddit, and if I hear anything back from them, I will put that in a pinned comment down below, or perhaps they will comment on this video, and if they do, I'll pin that as well if that's something that's known, and if it's something that's being addressed with these replaced cases that they are going to be sending out. So just keep an eye out for that. If I pop the case off, I'll let you see how the adhesive works on this side, and like I said, I think that part of that fitment issue is because with this piece, because you have more to grip onto, there's only adhesive here on this side. That doesn't really require a whole lot to stay locked into place. Whereas this top piece, because of how thin it is, you've got adhesive here, and then you've got adhesive here. You've got it. I mean, it's all over the place. That's because it's so thin. There's so little to grab onto. I think that it's possible that they didn't account for the thickness of that adhesive, and that's pushing things over just a little bit. Personally, like I said, I don't see that as like a big issue. You know, the fact that we're cutting off a microphone hole by, you know, a millimeter or something like that, it's not really going to affect anything as far as I can tell, but it is definitely worth pointing out. Now, I will say that with this case on, even if I do put a riser on it, my Pixel stand does not want to charge. So there's definitely something interfering with those wireless chargers. So keep that stuff very much in mind. Like I said, if you want to use my link to purchase one, it is in the description down below. Thanks, as always, to Thinborne for sending this case out for me to take a look at. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends. So overall, I don't have any major complaints about this case. The issue that we've talked about notwithstanding, I've been using it now for a little while, putting it in the pocket, out of the pocket. Everything seems like it's staying in place really, really well, which is good. It's Aramid fiber. If you know about these cases, you know that this is a pretty darn solid one. I do want to make one thing very clear, though. I mentioned using the Pixel stand earlier, and those stand-style wireless chargers just don't seem to work great with these cases. Even if I use a riser to get it into the right area, it still is not going to work with something like a Pixel stand. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind that this case was sent to me by Thinborne, so thanks and a big shout out to them for providing this case. As usual, though, with any of my reviews and videos like this, they are seeing the video at the exact same time as everyone else, and no money has exchanged hands for the production of this review. The only way that I make any money is if you see this review, you think it looks good, you go to my description, you click on my link, and you use my promo code to save 15% off your order. I will earn commission off of that. If you choose to do that, thank you. It's a great way to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any more questions about this case, drop them down below. And like I said, if I get new information, I will put it in a pinned comment down below. See you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.